Welcome back to WD Magicast for the week of March 17th, 2024. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. This is episode 251, WD Magicast, the show about the mouse, the Marvels, the galaxy, and beyond. I'm your host, Matthew Graken. Yes, we are still around. Sorry about that, folks. Had some technical difficulties. We host this show through Spotify, and I lost my password and got locked out of the site for a little while. Plus, life also, always takes over. People were sick and things happen. But we're back. We're here. And we bring Dave along with us because Bob Iger said something interesting about how he has all these lands that he could expand upon. So I figured let's play some Armchair Imagineer and think about type of what would we like to see in the potential expansion spaces that they have at their parks. So we'll be discussing that. Don't forget to join the conversation on our social medias where we can be found just about everywhere at WD Magicast, Facebook, X, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Make sure also check out our YouTube channel where you can also hear this show there. Dave's fine dulcet tones will lull you to sleep. And check out our media shop, our TeePublic shop, still up and going. Lots of good things there. Get yourself some nice new shirts for the summer, or hoodies if you like wearing hoodies in the summer. Some people do that. That's okay. Coffee mugs and a whole bunch of other assortment fun things. Tote bags for your beach excursions as summer vacation is winding up. And on that bombshell, we'll be back after these words. We'll be back. And on with the show. So Bob Iger said something very interesting recently about having plenty of space to be able to expand the parks and building new lands and just there's lots of room for growth at the Disney parks. And as many people go, well, what are you going to put there? So we figured we'll throw in our 2 cents and discuss what kind of things we would like to see put in Disney parks. And someone who is excellent at giving you his 2 cents and maybe a few extra that you didn't ask for and ask for change in return, Dave Goldman has joined us back and come up with his ideas, and he will, tell us why his ideas are the best ones. He will march to California and say, you know what? Your head of Imagineering has stepped out of the way. I'll take over, and this is what we're doing.
That's right. I have a plan, and they will listen. Thanks for having me, and welcome back.
Always a pleasure. And yes, it's good to be back. Dust off the old the microphone and get things going.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, with Epic Universe opening in Florida, Disney kind of needs a response, and I don't think that was necessarily the strongest response Iger could have given. But it's letting people know that, yes, we have all this money that we were going to attribute to the parks. Here is some of the things that we can do. And there is lots of room for growth to expand, and, the parks aren't limited to the footprint that's there now. We do realize there's things that we can do, especially since they, in Florida, they just kind of reworded how some of the land is designated from never being able to be used to there's a potential here.
Mm-hmm. Right. Because there isn't a lot of land around in Florida. It's like swamplands basically around them. So they got to be careful how far out they can spread. So.
Yeah, because there was supposed to have been another resort on the monorail loop right around the Magic Kingdom on the shores there, and they kept dropping support anchors in, mm-hmm. and they're still looking for them. That was 50 years ago.
Yeah, we don't need that kind of attraction.
No. The disappearing resort.
Yeah, exactly.
The disappearing, never reappearing.
Right. Yeah,
Can I get a swap view room, please?
Yeah, but I mean, as far as like expanding and stuff, you also got to say, okay, which IPs will actually draw people to come in, So,
Right.
so it's difficult. Do you go with the existing ones that you already have? Do you come up with something new? I don't know. I mean, I have ideas of one thing, but the whole overall scheme. Hey, I don't get paid that kind of money, and I'm kind of happy I don't.
Yeah, I love going with these things. I actually came up with two. I was kind of tossed between two, but between everything they have in their library, the stuff that they've acquired from Fox on top of that, there's a lot of possibility. I mean, I know like something they've been kicking around supposedly is Ice Age. That was one of the properties that they wanted from Fox, and now they do have people like the Ice Age crew. So that's always a possibility that could fit in a number of different places easily. It gives you a lot of things to work with.
You can see that in Animal Kingdom. That'd be a nice fit there.
You could work in Animal Kingdom, Magic Kingdom so much. Yeah. Epcot would be kind of the odd one out.
Yeah.
But any of the other three, absolutely. Even studios, I could see it going for there. You got that. You got numerous things from Pixar that you'd be able to do. So there's, as much as they want to do Marvel, that's still not on the table. But can they work something out with Universal to be able to start doing something with that? But yeah, obviously they're trying to find workarounds because we have Guardians at Epcot.
Mm-hmm.
Since Guardians is not part of that master licensing agreement, and I think they did a fantastic job with that little ride. It's the largest ride in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Little attraction that they built there.
So wait, I'm not that knowledgeable with this situation. So
yeah.
Universal owns the rights for any like Marvel rides or stuff like that, and is that why you're not seeing a like an MCU land in Disney?
In short, yes.
Okay.
So when Marvel was shopping around trying to get into the theme park area, or Universal was shopping around, and they came up with an agreement they created, because Stan Lee, as creative as he was, wasn't necessarily the best businessman when it was coming to things, because he would just sign contracts for anybody, giving them carte blanche rights. And that's what he did with Universal. There's this thing called the Master Licensing Agreement. It's got several hundred characters on it. And if those characters are being used, I don't know if they're being used or if they are part of the contract. I haven't checked the wording that closely. Then no one else can use it.
Oh wow!
So like, they have the Hulk coaster. Yeah, you cannot build anything with the Hulk this side of the Mississippi. They have this restaurant there, which has a mural. That mural has pretty much, from what others like Jim Hill and some of those other people have determined, whoever's on that contract is on that wall. So they're being used. And there's several hundred characters on there. So obviously the Fantastic Four, Doctor Doom, Spider-Man, there's Spider-Man attraction, Hulk, Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, X-Men, etc., etc., etc. So, but Guardians never was. So, because remember, Guardians is a B-level comic, if anything, at best B-level. So it was, we don't know who these people are. We don't want to be bothered with them. So Universal never got the rights to them. So now Disney goes, well, we can put them in the park then, because they're not part of that agreement. So we can actually do something with it. We can't use the word Marvel. We can't use the name Avengers on this side of the Mississippi. That's why you have the stuff in California. We have the Avengers campus, not Marvel's campus, Avengers campus. And you use the characters there because they're not in California. They're only in Florida. And everything, apparently, the Mississippi is the dividing line. So, that's kind of what kind of the biggest problem. And there's no real termination date. As long as you maintain it, update, and keep using these characters, then you hold on to it. On the flip side, though, when that contract was created in 90 whatever it was, so whatever Islands Adventure was being built, that's the point of the character that they can use. They cannot touch any of the Marvel MCU stuff, any of the stuff that's come out afterwards. So, say Kate Bishop's Hawkeye.
Okay.
Not someone they can use. Ms. Marvel.
What about Shang-Chi? Could they use him?
His character's been around for a while. So it depends if he's on there or not.
Okay. I was just saying because that's kind of a newer one. I wasn't sure if he was a part of that group.
But like, you will not find a Chris Hemsworth Thor walking around.
Right.
Nor will you find a Tom Holland Spider-Man. Or a newer version of Spider-Man. Like even the Spider-Man with the white spider on it from the video games. Yeah, you can't use them. They can only use the ones from the comic books, from that date and time.
Right.
So they get the character, but they're locked into that character. So if you ever wonder why are they changing up the character so much and changing the costumes, and one, keep it modernized because you get stale if you stay looking the whole time. And really, do you wear the same outfit every freaking day? No. You change your things around. You change yourself unless if you're me and you don't change styles. You wear the same clothes that you've been wearing in 1993 is the same style of clothing that you're wearing in 2024. Jeans and a t-shirt and shorts and a t-shirt.
Hey, it'll all come back
It'll
all come back in style though, man.
Exactly. But yeah, so the characters need to change their styles, but they're locked to that style. So the traditional style of Captain America with the little wings off the side of his thing and the layers of feathers, that's the style of Captain America that they're locked to. Not the Winter Soldier style that we had in Winter Soldier or his outfit from Endgame or any of that type of stuff. Can't touch that. Fortunately, at the same flip side, Disney can't use that in their Florida-based park. Which is also why in Shanghai, where they didn't know a lot of the Disney stuff, but they knew the Marvel stuff, that you have an Iron Man experience there and more Marvel presence. Because one, Universal does have the rights over there, and two, it's on a different continent. They could do it, and that was what's popular. So they were able to build something. So yeah, you got it's a very convoluted thing, and obviously Disney's lawyers have been pecking away and trying to figure out some way to get that to be taken care of.
Because if they can get that in their parks down in Florida, that's money, man. That's a big draw.
Right. And whatever it is, they'll probably make the money back. The downside is try to convince Universal, because particularly Islands of Adventure has so much themed around it, around the Marvel stuff, to be able to convince them to spend the time and money to redo all that stuff. Because you have several rides, restaurant shops, and sections dedicated to it, that you'd have to offer them something pretty good, and not just something pretty good, but something that they realize, okay, we're going to make just as much or more money to be able, one, recoup what we lost from having the Marvel stuff, and two, recoup the losses of having to re-theme everything.
Yeah.
Or even rebuild.
And Universal's trying to compete with them down there, so that's a big bargaining chip, man. So I can't see them just hey, here you go, take it,
Right. But again, at the same time, it's older, stale stuff. So it's like, okay, you get the little kids going around. Oh, look, it's look at Captain America. You get excited to see Captain America. Then you have the slightly older kids that look and go, that's not the Captain America from the movies.
Yeah.
I don't know what punk Captain America that is. That's not my Captain America.
Yeah. So they may actually, eventually they get out that they're going to get too outdated where they're like, okay, we need to do something.
Well, and here's the other thing, and I know you're a big trumpeter about this. What's going on is switching up the characters. So Sam Wilson being Captain America now, bringing in Ms. Marvel and Kate Bishop taking over as Hawkeye. It's in evolving the characters to newish people. If you do that and the fan base follows along, which generally they do because it's not the first time they've done it, then that really just puts Universal in a bind because, okay, we got the classic Marvel stuff, but anyone who follows the new stuff isn't going to be on board with our merchandise, our rides, our attraction, our theming, because now it's outdated.
Yeah.
So, it again lends to, if you keep evolving and moving your characters forward and changing it around, then that puts your competition in a bind, especially wherever you're dealing with something that you could potentially do a lot with in your parks. Not that you think that the parks is going to be at the forefront of their decision making, but it's got to be there.
Yeah. But I'm sure Disney will eventually get that. They seem to know how to absorb things.
Hey, it took them what, 70 to 80 years, but they finally got Oswald the Lucky Rabbit back.
Yeah.
I mean, they had to sell someone's soul to do it. They sent Al Michaels to NBC, but they did it. Hey, Al, we love having you here, but you're now somebody else. I mean, that is the weirdest trade in sports. With the stuff going on in the NFL, currently it's free agency season. This player's getting traded there, and this player's traded here. You always think that's a weird trade in sports. No, the weirdest trade ever to happen in sports is Al Michaels for an outdated cartoon that no one's ever seen in 80 years.
It was worth it for them.
But they brought him home. They did right by Walt. That's what it was. It was all for Walt. They did right by Walt. But, if you ever want a piece of sports trivia, that has got to be the strangest.
Who was Al Michaels traded for?
Oswald the Lucky Rabbit.
Oh, Lordy.
And they didn't even get draft picks.
So was that a fair trade in your mind? If you were commissioner of that trade, would you pass it?
I don't know. I could. Bringing Oswald home, sure, but I mean, it's Al Michaels.
Yeah, I know.
Are they?
So do I.
He does great.
Are they planning on using Oswald? Is that why they have been actively seeking him?
Yeah, they were actively seeking him. They put him in things, but he's not like a forefront character. I mean, they've had this for a little. I mean, when did Al Michaels go to NBC? It's been a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In that time, they used, besides merchandise and stuff like that, they put Oswald in. I mean, he was in Once Upon a Studio.
Mm-hmm.
He was in there for a moment. It was a pivotal moment, but he was in that. He was in the 2 Epic Mickey games, I think both, at least both. least definitely one, if not both, of the two Epic Mickey games. And then last year or within the past 2 years, they finally released the first Oswald the Lucky Rabbit short since 1928.
Sorry, I was just looking up a picture of him. He looks like Mickey Mouse with just longer ears.
Yeah, basically. I think the biggest difference is I haven't watched too many of the Oswald shorts, so I can't talk per se, but he's a little more of what a traditional cartoon of the day was, which is just more slapstick.
Okay.
And less personality like Mickey.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was kind of the main difference. So yeah, but yeah, that's so they're willing to do that. You know, there's got to be something. There's got to be something. Like I would, if I was Disney, and I'm not, but if I was Disney, I would realize that you hold the rights to How to Train Your Dragon 2, which How to Train Your Dragon is one of the major sections of Epic Universe's layout, and go, okay, you can use stuff from 1 and 3, but everything that happened in 2
is ours.
Is ours.
Unless.
But. You know, even if they, I think I heard Jim Hill talk about this, or somebody was talking about this, about you can keep what you have now, but anything going for like all the MCU stuff, let us do our thing with it.
Mm-hmm.
You keep the classic comic book stuff.
Right.
We get the MCU stuff, and we can build
based on the films. Right.
Right. And I think that would be a fair trade-off, because in all honesty, as much as the groundwork and the grassroots is the comic books, the stuff that people are more familiar with is the movies.
The movies, yeah.
So that would be the brilliant. That
would be the bigger draw.
Yeah,
obviously. Yeah. Especially in today's world of digital media and stuff like that. Who's reading a comic book? You're probably listening to a comic book. You're not reading it.
You're listening. You're looking at it on your phone and stuff through the Marvel Unlimited app and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, comic book stores used to be a dime a dozen all over the place. Now they're hard to find, which is a shame. It's a beautiful art form. But it's not the same as it used to be. So yeah, that would be the smart decision. And on that note, what land are you creating, Dave?
What land am I creating? I would like, because all right, we see Star Wars, it's spread out basically everywhere, but each park has.
Is it?
Yeah, I want one whole thing, man. Stop having a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit there. But I know that's the IP that's going to draw people to each park and stuff. But if Galaxy's Edge could be extended, that's where I would go, because there's a few things that I came up with that might be kind of cool, that they could do in the Star Wars universe in that section, if they could. Or just come up with one and they're not going to do it, but, combine everything into that one park. That's not going to happen. That's too convoluted.
The entire park becomes Galaxy's Edge.
Yes.
Which you would be the first one there, all excited and complaining about it at the same time.
There you go. I would have it would just be the original trilogy themed stuff. No Jar Jar Pinks, no, anybody from the sequel trilogy. No, I love it all. I'm sorry.
So no Ahsoka, huh?
Well, we could have Ahsoka.
No Mandalorian. No Grogu.
Yeah, we can have them in there. I was okay with those.
No Andor.
Oh, you gotta have Andor. You gotta have, yeah.
Sorry, I just burst your bubble, man.
Yeah, I know you did. Yeah, Ahsoka was okay. They just made her grumpy. That's all. I wanted.
You should relate.
I do, but I want to see somebody. I don't want to see me on TV. You know, but
Evil version of Dave with 2 lightsabers.
Exactly.
Thrawn.
Thrawn, yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing him. But Thrawn, I have because I read the what was it? Heir to the Empire. I read that book, so I was introduced with Thrawn through that book. You know what I mean? So,
well, like you, I first was introduced to Thrawn years ago in one of the book series, and in the book series, it's fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. So to see him on screen, you know, when animated and whatever, that was awesome. So him, I'm behind, you know. But they all can't be winners, man.
No, and you know, we never did our fair Ahsoka review, but I would have to say that I did think they portrayed Thrawn pretty good. He had that air of superiority.
Yeah.
And whatever it is, you know, whatever the sacrifice is, was a calculated risk that he had already thought about.
Right.
Meticulously.
Yeah.
And justified in his head that, well, 10,000 people are going to die, but I still get the result I want.
Yeah.
So therefore,
I'm good.
10,000 people, it's okay to kill 10,000 people.
Yeah. Yeah. Cold and calculated. That's basically.
It was great.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so okay, so what would you do with this expanded? Go on.
If
you're listening.
Yay! I have the floor. Just think of an indoor roller coaster, maybe, or some aspect where you can either pilot go into either an X-wing or a TIE fighter and have it like simulate a dogfight in outer space, and maybe in the center of the coaster, kind of like what Guardians had. You were flying around the sun or whatever that was in the middle there.
The Earth, yes.
The Earth. I want to see like maybe the Death Star there as you're circling around and, you know, have laser bolts flying all over the place on the inside. I think that would be cool. That's my opinion. You know, I would like to see something like that.
So like, and I may have a similar idea with one of mine came up with, but something like, you know, the hyperspeed.
Yes. Yeah, get shot off, boom. Because like it would definitely have. It would have. What? Go ahead.
Better yet, they did this in Star Tours, but I think it would actually translate even better to like a Guardians type of ride with the Omni Coaster.
Mm-hmm.
The battle with the either TIE fighters and or Slave One or whatever it's called now, Boba Fett ship.
Right.
Through the asteroid belt. So you do it on the Omni Coaster. So the coaster's going around and you're getting turned around or going around the asteroids and these things are blowing up by you.
Yeah.
And again, like with the laser fodder and stuff going over the place, and the TIE fighters could whoosh right over you.
Right.
You feel the breeze. Again, you see these things holding on your TIE bombers and interceptors. Am I
That's basically what I'm talking about. Yeah, man.
If I in your head again.
Yes, it has to be, and of course it has to be indoor because it has to be dark. You got to feel like you're in, outer space and stuff. Right. And yes, 100%. That's what I wanted to simulate that you're actually in some sort of dogfight against either, the Republic or against the Empire. That's, you have 2 separate tracks, one good, one bad, or whatever.
Yes, I was just gonna say 2 tracks. Empire and
Yeah.
And they could go across, and you could almost make it like a dueling coaster situation, which.
Right.
Indoors in the dark makes
that'd be hard to do.
A little less. But if you had the lights somehow on the coasters themselves, so it's dark, but you still see the opposing coaster going around at times or in crossing over you.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
How big would that show building have to be if you figure the Guardians one is can hold 5 spaceship Earths in it?
Yeah. And it'd be some big.
It would be the size of the Death Star.
That's what I'm going for, man. They got the money. They can make it happen.
Yeah. So that's your big ride. Is there like a smaller ride that you'd go with it, or?
Well, I would have another kind of ride I would have would be similar to Tron, but do that with speeder bikes and have it zip through like trees and stuff like that through Endor. So you can have your little Ewoks and stuff like that there, maybe some AT-ATs and stuff in the area shooting at you or something, but just, small little ride that, real fast, sit you in it like Tron does, but you're on the speeder bike. I think that would be cool.
I love how you call Tron a $5 million attraction, a small little.
When you ride it, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's over.
I know it is a 90-second, loop.
Quick.
Yes,
right. But I would make this ride longer, longer than 20 seconds, man.
But okay, not a pod race.
Oh, but I was going to get to that. All right. Sorry. So, and then another attraction could be, instead of go-karts, how you got the go-karts driving around or whatever, you can make those as pod racers, like each individual different vehicle, and drive that around the course.
So like the Tomorrowland Speedway, but as a pod race.
Right. Exactly.
Ah.
See, I was incorporating the prequel. I think that would be cool,
Yeah. Huh.
Doesn't have to be anything, high speed or whatever, but I think, hey, it'd be cool. Hop in one of them things and, Now,
yeah, I like where you go with this.
Mm-hmm.
Would you do any type of themed restaurants? Because, it's Disney, you got to do the food.
Right. Well, see, and that's where it's like I did come up with the Death Star Cafe. So some kind of half-domed building that you walk in. Obviously, it looks like the Death Star, but you come in and all the servers are dressed in Imperial garb. They could be sarcastic to you, just like when you go on Rise and they're in there and they give you the toot. So I would keep that energy. The food, I don't know. They would have to come up with some kind of like Star Wars cuisine and stuff that they have. Like in Olga's Cantina, where they came up with some stuff for that. I'll leave that to them because I'm not a chef. But some kind of, if it's as long as it's in the Star Wars realm, whatever, put it on the menu. Even if it's a Star Wars steak, it's just a regular steak, but call it Star Wars steak. I don't care.
Sure. And the meat.
Yeah, the Death Star Cafe, man, and then maybe like it's the eye of the Death Star that you walk in and it opens up and then closes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, this sounds good. I'm liking this. And this is right up your alley. Any type of place to get an adult libation.
An adult libation. That's the only one I didn't think of because you have Olga's Cantina. So, that I mean, if you wanted to do like an original, the Mos Eisley Cantina. You know what I mean? If you wanted to build that, I would be okay with that. But, and try to make it as authentic as to the movie as possible.
Right.
That would be cool.
Or Imperial Officers Club.
Yeah. Yeah. And then have all the creatures around, you can take pictures of and stuff like that. And just have the person that's at the bartender looking like that bartender.
Wait, you know what? No, this actually would work even better.
What's that?
Jabba's Palace.
Ooh. Oh, that's even better. I didn't think of that.
And you got the band playing.
Yep.
Dancers, the tables set up. Yeah. You got the guards walking around.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the Gamorrean guards.
Yes, you can have
whichever you say it.
A giant animatronic figure of Jabba who comes. He's behind a door. Something door opens up. He comes sliding out. He gives a speech or something like that.
It's kind of like
executes one of the guards. You have Sebastian Crumb.
Kind of like T-Rex, where every now and then it like goes crazy in there. Yes. You know what I mean? Something like that. So like, I don't know, every half hour on the hour you see Jabba the Hutt pop out.
or you can't keep him out and he's just sleeping. And then he wakes up and all of a sudden, all right, I'll run a monkey.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that would bring people to the park, man. I'm telling you.
Oh, that would absolutely bring people to the park.
You know, and if you want, like, for the little kids, you could have a merry-go-round with, like, you know,
no,
also
Mario's go round is in the other.
Yeah, place. He's on the other merry-go-round. There we go. Of like Star Wars creatures that goes, you know, up and down or whatever. So I think all that, dude, I'm there. But I'm telling you, how cool would it be to be on a speeder bike just flying through the trees of Endor, you know, having AT-AT shoot at you? That is cool stuff, man.
That would be fun. That would be great. I'm not gonna lie, that would be great. So,
that's basically those were like the 4 or 5 points that I came up with for my version of extending. I don't even know if you want to call it Galaxy's Edge or expanding Galaxy's Edge, because it could be its own separate section. I don't know. I don't even know where you would put this. Hollywood? Like I have no idea.
Well, I mean, it's already, you know, Galaxy's Edge is in the studio, so.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, do they extend it there, or where do you put it?
It could go a couple places. Because I could even justify in my head putting that in Animal Kingdom.
Really?
Sort of.
Because they don't. Is that because they don't? They need something to help the park.
That too.
Yeah.
Well, you got Avatar there, but you know the whole symbiote with nature and stuff. But you know the speeder bikes, you know, going through the forest and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, conservation message, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess my turn, huh?
Yeah, your turn. What did you come up with?
I came up with 2, and I don't know which one to go with. Because which one should? All right, the one that I could flesh out a little better, and I'm thinking this would definitely be studios.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them would go studios, I think. Both of these ideas would go studios. Let me go with this one first. You know, Matt Leonard and I have, you know, obviously declared and announced our love for MASH. So
I thought you were on Muppets.
You wouldn't be surprised with that, would you? The Muppets would be awesome. Mm-hmm. Muppets, it would be awesome. But I'm just going with something that they haven't touched upon, mm-hmm. and you can actually do a lot with it. That you have, you know, you set it up like the 4077, like, you know, the MASH unit itself with the tents and whatnot. You go in and out of, you know, in kind of more of a gravelish type of walkway. And the main ride, you 2 different rides. One would be like a flight in the medical choppers.
Okay.
Now I'm trying to think how would you actually go with the story on this? Are you just taking a tour on one of the choppers? And it is like a soaring over Korea.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, doing something like that. Or do you make it more adventurous that, you know, you're leaving a combat area and having to get them there? Either way, it's a flight simulator type of thing.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking like Star Tours flight simulator. I'm talking Nuclear Arms. So you are in a suspended seat that is moving about.
Mm-hmm.
And like, especially like if you're doing like the combat zone type of thing, where, you know, you're going from one seat and, you know, being shot at and explosions in the air and whatnot, and then having to you know, make maneuvers and stuff to get your patients, your wounded, to the medical center, the Army Center. The other ride would be on an ambulance ride. Mm-hmm. So this would be kind of like Dinosaur.
Right. Yep. Gotcha.
And, you know, again, all right, you know, we got to get these patients. Kind of the same type of story, but I think either one will work, or they both could work as 2 individual things. And, you know, mm-hmm. you're trying to race through, or better yet, that you have to bug out. So you had to pack everything up and you have to move the whole location. And, you know, you're escaping the incoming invasion of your camp.
Right. That's awesome.
And then you could have the mess tent buffet.
Mm.
So it's a just like the soldiers, they always ate in the mess tent. You would go there, and it's a buffet.
Yep.
So you got the selection of different type of culinary delights that a lot of the military people would be entitled to at the time.
At $70 a pop.
Yeah. You walk around characters would be great. I mean, you have Klinger, you could have Pierce and McIntyre and all the Radar, all walking around. Hot Lips. That would be very easy to do because it's just face characters.
Right.
Then you'd also you could have the swamp bar. Pierce and McIntyre's little that'd be a smaller place. That would be like I think it was gin that they sold there. And then you can also have the officer's tent. As a more of an upscale. So that was kind of my thinking for the one.
Yeah. No, I like it. I think you would probably you would get some people going there. I mean, I don't know how I'm not trying to, I don't know if the
kids
would,
yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if the kids would be going to the MASH area, but like the adults and the older people, mid to older people would be going to that. Yes, I would go.
Right. Yeah. I as far as a draw would go, yeah, I can see it doesn't have the biggest draw, but I can also see it being, it has potential.
Yeah. No, I agree.
There's a lot that you could work with, but yeah, it's not an up and coming or a very popular or much known IP at this time.
At this time, correct.
Unlike the other one that I came up with,
Doctor Who.
Yes.
I'm sitting there going, if it's not the Muppets, the other one has to be Doctor Who.
Yes. I have no idea what the exterior of this place would be.
But that's the
hardest part because it could be really anything. You can do it as Gallifrey. You can do it as 1960 London. There's so many options that you could, or what I was saying, you could you build it in such a way that as you walk down streets, you go through different areas. So one moment you're here, but then you turn down the street and you're somewhere else. And then you turn down another street and you're somewhere else again. So you go in different planets, different times. So like one point you're in London, the next thing you know, you're you're on Mars, and then you end up in New York City.
Yeah.
So something like that. And then going along with your idea about a clone of the Guardian Galaxy ride would be the Time Vortex ride. And at the beginning where you have the TARDIS like flying through the vortex and making sharp turns and stuff like that, you do something like that where you're flying through the time vortex, and every so often you end up at a different planet. One point, okay, there's Earth, there's Mars, there's Mondas, there is Skaro, there, the different planets that you would circle around for a moment, and then next thing you know, you go through the time vortex again and going through, or you can weave a whole story. It's like, okay, kind of like the Guardians. Oh, we have to go back in time to do something. Oh, we have to go, from this planet. Okay, now we have to go back to 1940s Earth. Oh, there's 1940s Earth. Oh, now we have to go to this planet. And you're chasing something. You're chasing the master.
Got to go to the edge of the galaxy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to go to end of time.
Yeah. But that would be cool having like walk around characters like the Daleks. You have them like going around the park. That would be awesome.
There's my second ride. Again, kind of going with the dinosaur type of vehicle, but the unit ride. Unit versus the unit versus whoever, and you are going through, and instead of like dinosaurs attacking you, there's Daleks shooting at you that you have to get through. And then, here comes the Cybermen marching towards you. Look, it's an ice warrior.
Yeah.
You know, you have all the creatures coming attack you. You're in your unit vehicle, trying to navigate through. How cool would that be?
That would be awesome. Yeah, that would be awesome. I would be on board with that, man. I'm like, give it time. I bet you they will. I think that's something that they probably
the agreement.
will do.
I don't know what their agreement with the BBC is for Doctor Who, because Disney's treating it now kind of like part of their property.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what the full agreement is, and they haven't really been open about what this full agreement is. But God willing, it's popular enough, and for multiple reasons, I hope it is, and I hope it does really well for Disney, that we could actually see it integrated into the parks. I mean, just to see a whole full land would be amazing to me. But to give it some sort of park representation, like you said, even just as like a walk around, to see the Doctor and Ruby, as face characters walk around the studios,
right?
Or having a Cyberman marching down. To get a picture with, or a Dalek rolling out.
Yeah.
I think obviously they want to test the waters to make sure that it's a good investment, but I don't see it being a bad idea, especially just to have a face character walk around, which again, in the long run, is not a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And to hype things up, to get people interested. One, you have the fans that are already there that would go crazy because you don't have that anywhere really. You don't have a Doctor Who theme park or area that you could go. I mean, you got the museums and stuff in Cardiff, but you don't have like a Doctor Who experience.
No.
And it's good promotion and they used to do this for their movies before Mulan came out. You could go and meet Mulan. You'd see the Mulan parade. I don't know what this is, but now I'm interested because now I've seen parts of it and I want to know more. So you have the Dr. Ruby walking around at the Hollywood studios, and who is this? Oh, he's Doctor Who. Who's that? Oh, he's on Disney Plus. Oh, okay. So that's how you build interest. So I don't know what the agreement is, what they're allowed to do, what they're not allowed to do, but I think that would be smart marketing.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be like, okay, BBC's over there, we're over here, we can't, you know what I mean? Why can't? I guess it's the agreement then, right? But
see, it's not like Universal where it's a direct competition.
Mm-hmm.
The BBC and Disney have gone into an agreement or distribution agreement that, okay, you have control the stuff in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere else is Disney's property now.
Yeah.
And that's just for distribution. But if you looked at the credits, and I'm not sure if this is the same credits that rolled over in England as it is that rolled over here, and I'll have to check this out. But Disney is listed in the credits.
Mm.
It is Bad Wolf Studios in conjunction with Disney Plus. So
they have to. I mean, yeah, they have to have some kind of. But I guess they're going to wait though because they just acquired them, so they have to see.
Right. Season 1 starts May 10th, so we have still a little bit of time, but
right. But those two IPs that you have, that you're talking about, MASH and that, there's all kinds of stuff that you can pull from both of those to make a section. So
right.
It would work. That's two that like I wouldn't have even thought of. Like knowing you, I knew Doctor Who once I figured it. But just something different that hasn't been done. That those two would be cool in that park. In any of them. You know what I mean?
And the thing, especially those two rides that I was mentioning, you already now have the technology, so you don't have to. You're not building new technology. You just have to build the facility
to
house it. And yes, okay, the Vortex one would the Guardians ride is a huge building that takes some time to build and whatnot. The dinosaur ride isn't quite as big, and again, those rovers now have been used a few times over. You know what you're doing with them.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's an easy thing to, kind of create. And you can do a lot of really cool things with that.
Mhm.
I mean, you could even do a boat ride through Scarab.
Yeah.
The Daleks' alien planet, and you're on a boat, and you see these weird creatures going about, and every so often you see one of the mutants outside of the battle armor, like crawling across or doing something. Then you see a patrol
Mhm.
going by. There's a lot you can actually do with this IP.
Absolutely.
It's something that's been around for 60 years. You got a lot of history that you can pull upon, and even on the new stuff. You can pull just from the new stuff. The Weeping Angel section or something.
That would be creepy. That would be cool and creepy. But you imagine it's like one of those what you call the Guardians coaster thing.
Yeah.
How it turns.
The Omni coaster.
Yeah, the Omni coaster. So you got it. It's dark on one side and then it turns and then they turn the light on and you got a weeping angel staring at you and jump scare you. That would be cool.
So there's a lot we could definitely do with that, and I just think and you do it you build the land to promote an interest and to grow it.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, yes, you want to make sure that it's viable first before you invest it. But as weird as this sounds, to go back to Walt, he built a whole theme park around stuff that was just being released or hasn't been released yet.
Yeah.
Sleeping Beauty. He built the icon of Disneyland, Sleeping Beauty Castle, which that movie wasn't even out yet.
Mm. Yeah.
So, but on that note, yeah. Quickly, like a Galfane restaurant again, like you said, like an alien type of place, a little futuristic.
Mm-hmm.
You come up with stuff like Space 220 type of food.
Yeah.
Alien type of food, or you could do like an English pub.
Mm-hmm.
Type of deal. I mean, I know you have one of those at Epcot, but put it in the studios.
Right. Exactly.
Different things like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, I'd be there 100%.
Oh, and the time vortex, the queue is walking through the TARDIS. Like you enter into the console room.
Yeah. It's bigger on the inside.
Yeah. And then you just start walking down corridors.
Yeah. That's awesome. That would be cool. The more you talk about that, I'm excited. I hope they actually do something, but do it quickly. I'm not getting any younger here, man. I want to be able to ride this stuff.
Don't take 20 years to build it.
Yeah, exactly.
And on that bombshell, Dave, thank you for coming on board and sharing your ideas.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me.
Oh, always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. We will have to do this again sooner than later.
Yeah, in 5 weeks.
Yeah.
All right, dude.
All right. Thank you so much.
You got it.
Again, make sure to join the conversation. What would you build? What lands would you build? Tell us on our social media, on the Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, wherever you want to find us, at WD MagicCast. But thank you for your time. I know how little time we all have had these days. The fact that we get to spend this time together means a lot to us. Please go on to Apple Podcasts, onto Spotify. They like us again. And leave a rating review. We have all 5-star reviews at the moment. Keep them coming. We need more. That helps promote the show. The more people who find about the show, the better place it is. Walt believe in a big Disney family, and so do I. Don't forget to subscribe to the show while you're at it. This way you always know when new episodes are posted. You can do this on whatever podcatcher you want, and also again on YouTube. We are on there as well. You can hear the full audio version of the show over there. By at consider becoming a premium subscriber. Truly help the show out. This could be over at Spotify podcast / WD MagicCast. The links to it is actually in the show notes. You can also do this at RT Public Shop, where again you could buy yourself some really cool merchandise, shirts, hoodies, tote bags, coffee mugs, portable travel cups, you name it. We got a lot of cool things on there, because remember, this show is brought to you by listeners like you. In Japan, broken objects are often repaired with gold. The flaw is seen as a unique piece of the object's history, which adds to its beauty. Consider this the next time you feel broken. Never give up, never give in. Be your own hero, and never be afraid to ask for help. Now, I'd like to end this week's show with a quote, of course, from Walt Disney. I suppose my formula might be dream. Diversify and never miss an angle. Again, that's Walt Disney. And actually, you know what? Let me give you a second one because it's been a minute and this one goes along with what we were talking about. Get a good idea. Stay with it. Dog it. And work it until it's done and done right. Again, that's from Walt Disney. Thank you again for listening, everyone. And I'll see you next time.